Think with me through the Old Testament, and let's try to answer this question. How did God, when God wanted to communicate with people in the Old Testament, how did He do that?
Angels.
What was it?
Angels.
Angels?
Prophets.
Okay, angels, prophets,
Miracles.
miracles.
One generation teaching another.
Life situations.
Sometimes He spoke.
What was it?
Dreams.
Dreams, okay. I'm going to put that down here with visions.
Yeah.
What else? Old Testament, how did God communicate? What else did He use?
Riding off the mountain.
Uh-huh. What was the thing that was given there?
Tablets. 10 Commandments.
Uh-huh. The 10 Commandments, those were spoken or what?
Written.
Those were written. What were they written in?
Stone.
Written in stone. You think there was a lot of copies to take home? Ah, everybody get their copy to take home and study? I don't think so. I don't think so. Wow, so far, what do we have that's written? One thing. What else happened in the Old Testament? There's surely some Bible scholars sneaking in here. Can you think of anything else?
Some of the things like the sacrifices were pictures of things to come.
Okay, okay. All right. Yeah.
Rituals,
A type. We would call that a type of things to come, a picture of things to come. Yeah. Yeah.
writing on a wall.
Okay, okay. Good, good, good. I was hoping somebody would come up with that. There was. Now, did this happen a lot? No. How many times did it happen? One time there was writing on a wall. By the way, it was also stone. Interesting. We have writing in stone and we have writing on stone. Those aren't take-home copies. So are you seeing much here that people can really carry with them? Now we should say, to be fair, some of these guys, when angels came, what did they do?
Spoke.
They spoke. In dreams and visions, God would speak. Okay? Sometimes these prophets were told to write. All right? Moses, the first one, he was told to write down what God told him. And then what did he do with what he wrote?
You read it.
He read it. Yeah. He didn't make Xerox copies for everybody? Yeah. He read it. In fact, that's what he did even before they went into the promised land. Deuteronomy literally means second law. That was the second time he read that to the people. So that this new generation that had come up, I like how this is working out, this new generation heard it then. This is what we're supposed to do. This is how we're supposed to live now that we're going into this new land that God has promised to give us. So, tell me where reading is in all of this. You see a lot of people reading? No, sure don't. But does that make sense? God wanted to get His message out. Did people get the message back then? Yeah, they did. They did. They didn't need for it to be read. Dan, if you can erase that, we're going to move to the next part. If we talked about Old Testament, what do you think would be next? New Testament, yes, yes. Smart group here. Okay, so in the New Testament, how did God communicate?
Miracles.
Okay, miracles again, we've got those.
He showed up.
He showed up. I like that. We're going to come back to that one. What else? Letters. Aha, now we have written.
Messengers.
What else?
Messengers.
Okay. Messengers. What else in the New Testament?
Dreams.
Dreams.
Visions.
Yep, we got dreams and visions again. We could have kept some of those things, huh? We're seeing them again.
Voice out in the sky.
What was it?
A voice out in the
Aha. Whoa. A voice in the sky. Some thought it was thunder. Others heard a voice.
stories.
Aha. Who told stories?
Jesus told stories.
Jesus. Okay. Showed up. I'm going to put Jesus right here. We're going to hit that one again. What else? Have we missed anything? Let's put these guys back here because they are also...
He told John to write it down.
Told John to write it down. What did he write? The revelation of what he saw. Okay? All right. So let's take a look at this list now. We have, I'm sorry, we should put at least one more thing here. What's the first chunk of your New Testament? Comes in 4 parts. Okay? Eyewitness accounts seen in and reported in the Gospels. Okay? So in this now, we have, looks like there's more writing. Do you see that? Okay? We've got some letters. We got John who was told to write this down. All right? We have the Gospels that are written down. Now the Gospels were written largely about who?
Jesus.
About Jesus. And what did Jesus do? He told stories. This is a key that some of the missionaries, like I say, about 30 years ago, really started to tap into, to say, you know, what did Jesus do? He told stories. And in fact, in your Bible, in Mark, it says something about his stories. In Mark chapter 4, verses 33 and 34, it says, he taught the people with parables as much as they could understand. I like that. As much as they could understand. And then it says, he never told them anything without telling them a parable. Or as we would say, a story. So if Jesus, who, I like this, I like how the Message says this. In John chapter 1, verse 14, it says that the Word, we're talking about that, the Word became flesh and blood and moved into the neighborhood. I really like that. Moved into the neighborhood. Whatever country you are, wherever you are, he moved into the neighborhood. So he showed up, and this is the messenger, isn't it? This is the one right from God. So he's the messenger with the message, and how does he choose to deliver that? In stories. So finally, some missionaries said, have we been missing something? We've given out millions and millions of tracts and Bibles and everything, and probably they've seen some of them, like I have, sitting in the homes, not doing anything. Or they see them in the back of a church in some country just piled up. I've seen termites eating them. I've seen the mold take them. I've seen, the hurricane come and take them and all kinds of stuff. But they don't always get where they want. They don't always make the impact that we want. And so somebody said, so what was it Jesus did? He told stories. And we realize, there must be a reason for that. So let's just think for a moment and see if we can maybe, from what we already know, get some ideas of why would Jesus tell stories. What's the great thing about stories?
They're universal.
They're universal. Okay. What was it? Easy to remember. Yeah. They're interesting. We all like stories, right? Yeah.
Easy to repeat.
Easy to repeat, too. Very good.
A lot of times they have a lot of emotion attached to them.
Okay. They're emotional. They're real to us, right? Yeah. And so, the contextual, yeah. Jesus told stories about things that people knew. There were fishermen and farmers and stuff, so that he told stories about those, or whatever the situation was. Great. And all of these are reasons why he used that tool. So what missionaries have done is we've realized there's something to what Jesus is doing. What I've realized, and why I'm glad to make a trip from where I work in Belize back to the States to do this is because, like we said, 2/3 of the people around our world either can't or don't prefer to read, and a lot of them are right here. And what we found is that this system is so simple and so fun and easy to remember and easy to repeat that it just works. I don't preach anymore. Hardly ever. Because this works so much better. Last year I was able to go to Kenya. And in fact, Derek and I both went to Kenya and got to see a lot of folks there who had been in training with Simply the Story, learning how to do this. And the pastors were thrilled. The reports we heard over and over and over said this, basically. Before, the people used to sleep in church. And they would watch their clock, and they would be ready to leave. And when it was time, they were gone. And nobody stuck around, and nobody really talked about the sermon, and you didn't hear any of that. Now, after learning to do this, nobody falls asleep. Everybody participates. Nobody cares what time it is. We go long. Everybody stays. When we finish, they don't leave. They stick around talking about the story. On Wednesday when we come back, they're still talking about the story. On Saturday, they're talking about the story. On Sunday when we come back again, they're still talking about the story. This is great. And we heard that over and over and over from so many different pastors, from different denominations, from different parts of Kenya. It was like, okay, I think they believe this. And so before I left for Belize, I had a chance to serve as interim for a church near here that was looking for a pastor. And while they were doing that, I filled in for them. So I started doing stories with them in this context, in this culture. And I found that it worked the same here as it does in other parts of the world, where people aren't readers as much. And you're going to get the chance to experience that today. Now, I've noticed this so far, that some of you are good, what do I want to say? Good studiers. You're taking notes, and you're doing your due diligence to capture this stuff. And I'm going to challenge you. I've already messed with you a little bit. We took the tables away. And so now it's just chairs, and you'll see why we're doing that. I'm going to challenge you to also put your paper away. And your ink pens and all that stuff. And that is going to, for some of you, that's going to be so hard. But there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. Before this is done, I'm going to give you paper, okay, with a lot of notes on it. And Christy has told me she's already sent the manual to you, so you have a lot of that. I'm going to give you more paper with a lot of this stuff that we're saying, and you'll leave here with all your notes, okay? Does that sound good? That give you a little more comfort? A little less nervous? Whew, I'm going to miss something. And see, you're doing what you've been conditioned to do. I do the same thing. You know, sit down and take notes, because that's what we do. But here's what happens when you take notes. Part of you turns off a little bit. Okay. What part turns off? Yeah. Some of your attention. So, you know, you can't capture everything. When you're writing something, you miss a little bit about what was just said, right? And so you're hoping you catch the main points. You know, it made me crazy in college because I wanted everything. You know, to me, there's only one grade. It had to be an A, so I got to get everything the professor says. And, you know, I still have piles of those notes. I haven't done anything with them, but I still have them because that's kind of what we do. So today, we're going to leave those alone, because when we do, when we're not distracted by that, what do you think increases? Yeah, your attention, your listening. This is one of the keys that makes this work. In countries where they don't sit and take notes, they listen so much better than we do, because they're trained that way. We're trained to take notes. They've been trained not to. Think about it. If you can't take notes and you know you want to remember something, what are you going to do? You're going to listen hard because you want to catch it. And so part of the key is what you said. It's got to be easy to remember. And this is why we're going to do stories. Now, if I had right now started to give you a list of the 12 things you need to know, probably already there's a little 12. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do with that? That's too many things. We're not going to do that. We're going to find out what it is to do story, get involved in a story, put ourselves in a story, and I think you'll realize that it's much, much easier to grasp when we do it that way. you'll realize learning things because you're listening, you're trying to see yourself in a story that is really, really beneficial to the process. All right? So have I messed you up enough this morning? You feeling uncomfortable enough? Yeah? Okay. Well, let's fix that. I don't think there'll be much more, I should say much more, that should mess you up. The rest should just be fun. Okay? You believe me? Maybe? All right. Well, we're going to try it out.